Welcome to the NACE Star League studio. You're joining us in the mid-month of October for the final day of the regular season for NACE Rocket League. Huge stakes here in all of the games that we are playing. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, and I'm joined by KhazixMayJump to call all of the action for you. Colin, a lot of these matches, I would say, have a clear underdog and a clear top dog, if you will.
Yeah, you know, and that's what you're going to get so often, because you were just getting into that point and stage of the tournament where you're going to be going against the competitive elite of your division. It's getting to the edge. Like you said, it's the final day of regular season, so teams are really roaring to finish off strong. So I wouldn't even really put a big bet on who's the big dog, who's underdog, because each team wants to finish with a better record than they did last week.
Well, all of these matches have a team that is completely undefeated in their current division, another team that's trailing close behind. For example, in this first match, we have a team that's 4-0 and a team that's 4-1. And so that pattern goes on for basically all the matches we have here tonight. So will three of the teams that we have here be able to get like a perfect regular season, just tie the bow on what has been a fantastic run of wins for them? Well, we're soon going to find out. Here's the list of all the matches that we have. We're going to be starting with Rochester versus SUNY Farmingdale. Then we're going to move on to King University versus Butler.
Later in the evening, we got Florida Tech versus Maryville. And to end it all out, we got Boise State versus Oakland University at 8:45.
And let's take a look at the first matchup. We have Rochester versus SUNY. And the lineup that we have got Skies, Blue, and Luca for Rochester.
On the side of Sunny Farmingdale, we got Zip, Dirty Boy, and Otto.
And I was talking about some of these players have star-studded lineups. Rochester, every single player is supersonic legend. So definitely staring down almost a fortress, if you will, for the Warriors.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna experience a lot of those teams, especially. And I mean, the big thing about it just really is, like, SSL is that really intimidating title, like so many of the games have, that top 500, that top 100, that top in whatever respective you are. But at the end of the day, if that team is out of sync that day, or it's apparent that reason why they're just not feeling it, they can be taken down by teams that could be considered lesser.
Absolutely, and these matches are extremely important because this late in the season, there is no chance to turn back your record. If you get a loss here, you could be knocked out of second place and move down to LCQs in terms of your playoff hopes. So it's do or die here today. No more second chances. Things are going to be decided here, and we are writing those results in permanent ink.
Which it's so important, because I remember a couple weeks ago when we talked about the importance of finishing really strong. If you end up finishing in last place or something of that nature, or end up making your way through the LCQ, you end up facing higher seeds. If you are that number 2, number 3 seed when you were supposed to be 1, or if you got 4th and you're supposed to be 2, you have that possibility of going against a team that's more similar to you, and the chances of being knocked out early on are so greater. And I mean, on the side of Rochester, the only thing that stands out to me in their schedule is the fact that they had a bye in the very first week. I mean, that's the only thing that really stands out to it, where Sunny Farmingdale has one more game on their schedule that they do. So it makes me wonder a little bit of, if Rochester would have played that 5th game, would they also be at a 4-1? Would they be at 5-0? You know, it's just a question I'll never know the answer to.
Yeah, for a lot of the teams that we have undefeated, they did have a bye, and so they haven't quite played as many games, but I gotta say, if I'm looking at their history and the kind of wins they've had and the margins that they've put up, a whole bunch of 3-0 sweeps for, you could say, the leading team, if you will, then they could just very well prove that that 4-0 undefeated record is well-deserved.
Yeah, it all comes down to this. In this best of 5 that really marks, is it the end of the regular season or not for you? Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure both these teams have a pretty solid chance to make it into the offseason. They both have pretty staggering records. Even if Rochester loses 4-1, Sunnydale goes 5-1. Even if Sunny Farmingdale loses 4-2, is still a good enough record to get you into the offseason. So I don't think these teams' chances to get in are really per se on the line, unless we have some real nail biter type placement and seeding going on. But you never really know. You got to play every game like it's the last.
Well, if you remember the last few weeks, Colin, we have had multiple divisions in the East and West Central flavors where the second place position has been 2-3-way tie. So there are other teams that are vying for that second place spot that are playing in matches that we aren't going to highlight here tonight because we only have so much run time and we can't cover, all the dozens of games that happen every week in the NA Star League. So that's kind of the wild card is does that third place team, that fourth place team in the same division, do they get a very crucial win today? And does that overall make a loss for a current second place team that we're seeing right here more consequential? So much is up in the air despite the fact that we only have one game left in the regular season. And as we get down into the actual game that we have here today, what are you going to be looking for? I mean, we're getting to the point where we're seeing the top, basically for every match, the top two teams in each division. So if you're looking for top tier play, what's on your checklist?
I would say the biggest thing is just one of the things I noticed right off the bat is synergy of whether or not it's sort of that unspoken thing where, I don't need to hear comms to know if there's a type of connection between these players that they are playing really well and communicating really well and cooperating extremely well with each other because you just look at the way they play off the ball and how they play on each other's touches. And it is that bit of a game sense of if you have high game sense, you can sort of make that way on your own. But a team that plays really well off each other, looks for passing out skills, looking for opportunities to hit each other on the field, and are forward thinking and going for a demo play, I might be favoring them a little bit more.
All right, we are off to the races. Rochester versus SUNY Farmingdale. Right now, Rochester facing a little bit of pressure, but they quickly recover, almost driving it into the goal. The follow-up by Luca not going to get the first goal. Farmingdale are going to be able to walk away from that, but maybe Rochester puts another shot on. They do. Save comes through. Now SUNY Farmingdale looking for their clear.
Ooh, and in the heat of what was a demo, I have no idea what happened.
No, that's just great. That's coordination. That's textbook. You have the shot. Your teammate goes to clear out the main goalie. That is what you were talking about. You were talking about you're looking for synergy. And I got to say, that first goal from SUNY Farmingdale, doing a great job giving me confidence about their abilities. Off this next kickoff, pressure placed by Rochester, and a quick shot on goal by Skies to equalize it, not even a minute into the match.
Just absolutely really well played off each other. Skies absolutely steals the goal, so we really know who ended up getting it at the end of the match, but 1-1. Cannot complain so far off the start of this matchup. Only 40 seconds into it and a lot of action happening. Knight trying to hit Skies on the corner. Also looking for a redirect of their own. Wasn't able to get it. Skies are going to cut the rotation, get a touch, set it into mid. I think it's one touch, but it's going to be demoed immediately. Skies is there for the pickup, though. Give it a touch off the backboard. One more, trying to look for a teammate on the sidewall. Not going to be able to get it, though. A good read, going to kick the ball on the defensive. Set off the backboard again. Interesting little grace period. I just cleared out for the side of Sunny. But Knight's trying to go back on the offensive right now, looking for the flip reset. Good defense by Sunny. They probably just found, just barely. Luca's able to get the save, but now passing the midfield's defended well off the backfoot.
Another play off the wall, deflected by Rochester. Luca looking to play this off the ceiling, gets a huge bomber back over toward the white goal. But no centering comes in. Skies doesn't quite get the touch he was looking for. It heads back to Knight for defense. Whip on the shot gives Knight an opening. He's going to air dribble it, flip reset, but it is blocked by Zip Folder, who is quickly zipping over to the other goal and getting a lead for SUNY Farmingdale.
2-1, you cannot complain about that. A really good touch, really solid follow-up, and just an absolutely non-existent Rochester backline. It's not the easiest back of the net you can find out the game here, but it's still so young. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left. Never say never as Knight's going for a bit of a ceiling play here on a double. Finds the second touch, but isn't able to find the goal with it. Skies trying to keep it creative. Knight into the midfield, though, is going to be touched by Emilion. Getting one touch off the backboard, trying to find a teammate. Now trying to find bottom left bins. Wasn't fast enough. Couldn't find it away from the defender here. Now Luca trying to find a bump or a rotation bump steal, perhaps. Off the backboard. Gonna get one touch from the side of Sunny defense. And some more defensive play. 2 saves back to back. Now it's up to Lion. It's gonna play some solid defense. The ball's just staggering in this corner piece right here for the side of Rochester. Sunny's quick to go on the offense. Not gonna find a teammate though.
50 doesn't go away either team. Luca gets a shot to center it, quickly follows up, bumps right into a defender, and 3 are in the air trying to get the ball. Bit of a recovery now by Zip, passing over. Actually, it heads towards Skies instead. Passing hasn't been so clear, but Skies has a beautiful air dribble that is in turn blocked. Shot on goal goes through. Follow up by Luca. Next follow up by Knight. Luca tries again up and to the left, and the defense is just ironclad right now.
They are absolutely letting nothing through besides the 1 goal they let through about 2 minutes ago. Maybe 3. Now Knight up in the air trying to get some defense. Gets a touch, soft touch to the wheels. Not trying to get a follow up. Is able to get it, but gets demoed for it here. Now a touch off the corner here. Some chaos happening in the Rochester backline as they're getting bumped and demoed. But now Luca probably finds an opportunity for a double. Looked online, but Zip's the one to play interference. But Knight here looking for a solo. Emilion off the ceiling. Isn't going to touch, but it wasn't on target. Sky's going to get a soft touch. Boom it right back over to the white corner. Trying to keep it low. Zip in dangerous territory, dribbling the ball there. Gets a bit lucky with the last second touch. A shot on net blocked out by Luca. And a second attempt, a bit of a touch off the nose. Not powerful enough to speed past the defenders. Only 40 seconds here left while Sunny still holds the lead.
Rochester might be showing a few cracks. All 3 of them were bunched up into the goal with 2 of them low on boost. They've recovered now, and Luca's going to place another shot on the goal. Off the backboard. Follow up. Not quite coming through. Zip gets a touch on it, placing it back to midfield marker. Meanwhile, a demo was placed onto Rochester, keeping them at bay for a few more seconds. Another demo onto Luca. They have him nailed down. 10 seconds left. Is there going to be a goal to tie this up? Sky's going to try yet again. Follow up, Knight trying to push it in. He gets it, and we're tied up with 3 seconds left.
You can just tell the desperation on the field to find a way. If there's a will, there's a way, and Knight getting 2 touches back to back to eventually just overpower the ball over the top of the car. 3 seconds here. It's possible somebody takes the lead, but highly unlikely off the kickoff. 2-1. Luca gets a touch. This could be the chance to make a play off the backboard. A shot on the net. Oh! Defended by the stalwart defense that is Sunny Farmingdale. Isn't going to find the back of the net, but it was extremely close. Now Sky's trying to play it soft and slow in the corner. Not able to get too much done. Zip's going to get 1 touch, though. Skies get a good follow-up off the backboard. Luca off 1 now, trying to make something happen. Gets blocked out, though. Now Sunny on the bib and offense. Gets a bicycle kick over 1. This could be the opportunity. Takes the shot, puts it right on Knight's car, though.
I think this is the time, though, where Rochester is most vulnerable. You look at the boost levels for all of them. The boost starving is very good. For SUNY Farmingdale, they're going to try again. Rochester just can't do that much acrobatically with the lack of boost they have. As long as the side control and pressure is kept up. It's been driven back to midfield. Knight looking to get a little bit of room for Rochester. It heads off to the corner. See if SUNY Farmingdale can find their clear. Skies another touch off to the corner. Plays it above. Right now they're just trying to line up their shot. Set it up for a teammate. Knight. Demo goes on to Skies though, so he's not available for the pass. And that allows a clear to go through SUNY Farmingdale. My goodness. This has been an action-packed 1 minute, 20 seconds, and another save. I don't know how many you can put on the board. One player has 6 saves to his name. It has been all defense for SUNY Farmingdale. Rochester just trying to get that one goal to put them in the lead. They put so many on, but an open goal not punished, however. That shot whiffed at a most inopportune moment. We are now closing in on 2 minutes.
Still just on this absolute offensive. They're putting on quite the display right here. Both offensive and defensive capabilities from both of these teams. Now off the backboard could be an opportunity. The touch is going to send it back to the midfield here. Knight trying to control it. Going for a bit of an air dribble here. Might have the opportunity of more defensive capabilities just being shown out by Sunny Farmingdale right now. Knight to control it one more time. Lions the only one of the back defensive. Skies can't get a touch right here. Luke gonna take a shot down low. Saved out by Lion right there. Zip trying to keep this out from another shot. It looks like it's gonna be an opportunity. Knight to put another one on target. It's blocked one more time for the side of Sunny Farmingdale. Neither of these teams are letting go on their respective defensive and offensive strengths right here. Now it's up to Lion. He gets the ball taken away by Skies. Skies trying to make something happen, trying to find the edge of the goal. Not able to do it. It's Luca's turn now. Has a bit of air dribble, going for the flip reset. Could get through. A bit of a pinch is going to bounce just a bit wide. And for the first time, maybe for more than a couple seconds, the ball will find its side on Rochester's side. Looks not to happen as Knight is sitting, waiting in the back. We're going for another flip reset. Defended well by Zip, but a powerful shot. Is Luca able to get there in time? They are.
Are you kidding me with how much Rochester has been trying to get a goal? All of their shots being blocked. But they lack in offensive capability. Cindy Farmingdale more than making up for in defensive ability, like right there. Yet another save blocking Sky's shot on goal. Shot toward the goal. Skies gets a touch pass tonight, blocked again. UC Lion trying to get another shot. It's wide off to the side. Zip Folder gets another touch on it. Skies looking to take it away from them, but look out, shot on goal here, blocked by Knight. We go past the 4-minute mark for overtime, and we're only one game into this best of 5. How long is this match going to go on?
I have absolutely no idea, but it is quite the first game for both of these teams that are absolute demons on the pitch right now. Lion trying to make something happen here. For the first time in quite a while, the ball's sticking on the Rochester side. Skies to control the ball, get a soft touch, gets blocked out though. Luke with a quick follow-up. There's Lion, trying to find Zip. Zip to get one touch on the ceiling, try to follow up again. Knight's gonna send it to the other side of the corner there. But there is a Sunny offensive, not able to go any longer. Back on the defensive now. We are now nearing more than regulation time right here. Trying to get up fast to play for the defense.
Finally!
And finally, Luca Monster finds the flip reset. This Rochester team has been trying time and time again to find a flip reset goal, and they finally get it. Hats off to them.
They just needed to find that one scenario where their opponents were out of rotation. But look at all these saves being brought on here. And also the shots on goal, very lopsided in terms of Rochester. You can see just, I mean, look at both sides of the field. One is sparse and the other is just plastered with all the shots on goal made.
I would just also look at the side of the defensive as well, just the amount of saves. I really just can't comprehend it. I do want to point out the amount of demos that Zip had as well. I do think Sunny probably could have found a lot more opportunities to capitalize. They had a lot more demos than Rochester had. Just the opportunity to score there is a lot greater when you have less players on the field to defend. And it was already apparent that Sunny didn't really need to focus on that. They already had that part locked down. But to be honest, they probably needed full focus the way that Rochester team was just hounding on the goal.
Well, and another thing to remember is a lot of those demos happened toward the person who was in the passing lane, who was all centered up and ready to take the follow-up shot. So they did a really good job of knowing where Rochester, the Warriors, wanted to pass to, who they were going to pass to, and immediately just stop that pass from going through. That's what helped them get so many saves. It's just they eventually, it took a long time, but they eventually fell victim to just the pure amount of offensive shots that the Warriors were taking.
we have seen that before on broadcast before, where a really offensive capable team faces against a really defensive capable team. Unfortunately, it ends up going, or not, sort of depends who you're rooting for. It ended up going for the team that was a little bit more offensively inclined. It's sort of the thing of, on the side of Rocket League, you need to be good at both defense and offense if you truly want to be the best in your division and in your area. It's just sort of, it's the way of life, so to speak.
Got around the corner, blocked. GC looking to play above Knight. He gets blocked. Ball trickling on over to Rochester Skies. Skies off the wall. Gets a double touch on it. Bumps right into SUNY Farmingdale. They left their goal open, but the shot is to the right. Oh my goodness, that was a perfect opportunity, and they whiffed it. Oh, that's rough.
Not able to find it at the end of the day. However, though, now taking the ball back around a big loop here again, trying to find a teammate on the ceiling. Is going to get a touch, but this could be dangerous here. They're going to beat the opposition in the midfield here, and another shot put on net, a third put on net. It's going to miss. Both of these teams missing out on pretty critical opportunities to put a goal on the scoreboard. Now we're just waiting to see who can convert first. Good read off the corner here. Line might be able to take a shot that's going to be blocked out by Knight. Now Knight waiting for a teammate to find them in the backfield. Going to conserve boost. Gets the flippers off the ceiling though. The teammate was completely bumped off the ball, so they're not able to do anything. A bad read by Skies leaves the net completely open. And Lions able to capitalize on that. Put SUNY Farmingdale up 1-0.
But as we've seen with the Warriors, I'm not going to trust this lead until that timer hits 0, because they scored the tie, and they almost actually avoided overtime themselves, Rochester. In the last game, had the game lasted half a second longer, they might have been able to go into the lead. But right now, SUNY Farmingdale with the lead. Luka charging up the field. Just going to slow play it for now. Shot goes back across mid. Into the corner, zip, and well, seems like SUNY Farmingdale just let that one get away from them. Knight gets a shot. It is centered. Elevation up by SUNY Farmingdale, and right now both teams just seem like they're missing some passes, not quite nailing it down quite yet.
Puts him down the backboard here. Skies!
There you go.
Finally gets the double touch. They were looking for the flip reset all of game 1. They were looking for the double touch all of game 1. They finally found it in game 2. They're checking shots off the checklist in terms of what they want to hit this series. They managed to tie it up. It is now 1-1. But just I'm talking about that off the kickoff. Knight's going to find a very easy, just take a look at the replay here real quick. Yeah, it's Lennon. Yeah. Wasn't reciprocated in the same fashion on the side of Rochester here. And that's just going to allow SUNY Farmingdale to go up by 1-1.
Guys following. Oh, Juicy actually gets the touch on it first. The folder hanging out on the side of the field, but a bit too far back for the pass to go through. Luka gonna drive it all the way up to the field, up to the goal. Shot off to the side. Luka gets another touch on it.
Knight trying to get a shot on goal off the sidewall. Gonna be blocked out. Sky is trying to keep it going though. Trying to get a touch. Does get a pinch that goes in the midfield here. Now Knight trying to get a read off the sidewall. Sky's gonna interrupt. Go for a solo play instead. Maybe find somebody in the midfield there. Luka's now up looking for a touch. Beats out Lion here. Now the defense gotta play strong though. Luka's looking dangerous. Going in for the bump. Skies gets it instead. The touch off the sidewall. Still in the danger zone for the side of SUNY Farmingdale. Lion is going to elevate. Going to get one touch now, trying to get the full boost. Wasn't able to get it, but looks for Skies in the midfield on the side of Rochester. A missed touch by the side of SUNY Farmingdale's defense. Another shot on net. Beautifully saved once again. This team just won't stop.
it off to the corner. Haynes back for a follow-up. Ball's taken away from him, but the shot is blocked by Knight in midfield. Side control is going to be maintained for the Warriors. Skies comes in, doesn't get the touch he wanted, however, and demos are traded back and forth upfield, giving an opening for Zuni Farmingdale to push it, but the shot is wide and to the right. They've had a lot of shots that have gone that direction, costing them what could have been some goals, but they're still in the lead 2-1 with 30 seconds remaining. So the Knight, it's blocked, and a huge bomber back toward the Warriors' goal could be what they need to run out the clock. But Luca is going to put one last offensive drive on Zuni Farmingdale.
Yep, now trying to make something happen here. Looking for a third goal, perhaps. They currently are in the lead as the clock winds down. And nobody's going to get the final touch there. Sunny Farmingdale is going to win that game 2-1. A lot different of a game than what we saw in game one. And that's what I sort of mean. If I ever wanted an example to showcase what I mean by how different game to game, series to series is, and how fast Rocket League can change when it comes to competitive, that's the series I want to reference to. Because we had such a night and day difference between game one and game two.
Now in Farmingdale, I really think a lot of the goals that they scored in that second game were ones that are right off the kickoff. I mean, they had great positioning off the kickoff and teammates knowing when to cheat up. And I think that might be the ticket forward. I'm going to be looking for goals scored maybe 10, 15 seconds after kickoff as being kind of the best chances for Farmingdale, because from then on out, Farmingdale has a great enough defense that it just becomes such a grind from then on out trying to get a goal.
And that just may be the strategy right there in terms of if you really do want to narrow it down to how we want to approach the game. I honestly agree with that strategy, because it's about as solid as you can get. If you can score really quickly and just make sure the opposition can't get to those quick goals either, they're going to find themselves a very quick way to a Series W. However, though, if they let Rochester have these 3 moments in the air with a lot of boosts, they're going to find themselves in a very dangerous spot.
All right, we are all reset to game 3. We basically reset it to a best of 3 at this point. Tied 1 apiece. Luca moving up the field, trying to center it for a teammate, and Knight comes in at the last moment, right out of the corner of our screens.
The times that this team is going to be able to finally find the passing to the teammate, it is going to be so devastating for Sunny to defend. And that's honestly the type of play I love to see, from going from very tight to the backboard of where we're expecting a pass to going very deep into the midfield. And if you can put a power shot on net, you want that person to put it there. And then Sky's going to have to push the defense after a missed opportunity. Off the backboard here, Knight. And trying to stick with it. Sky is a cut, trying to get a touch. Luke gonna put in a shot on net. Look at top spins. Was going for the double as well. Could not find it. And that is going to be Sunny Farmingdale keeping this game at a 1-0.
Ball gets played around Luca. Passes it over. Shot goes right over Juicy, and they just move too far up. Very uncharacteristically, I must say.
Yeah, that's definitely, I could see the passing play, and it really just was. You got to be so careful when you commit your third man. You've got to be so careful when they commit, because if they messed up that touch, it's over for you. And there's an empty back of the net off the kickoff. 14 players were not able to get much advantage to it. Luca now trying to stick with it. A quick drift touch. Not going to find much zip. Now trying to do a double off the sidewall. Wasn't able to find it though. Knight may have the angle here. If not, they're going to have a teammate to follow up, and that teammate is Skies. And just once again, they're playing with a different level of speed right now, and very uncharacteristically, we're seeing an open net twice in a row for Sunny Farmingdale.
On the other hand, it might just be Rochester losing that game, that last game, kind of, shook some focus back into them. Like, okay, now we got to buckle down and focus. We're the favorites to win this match. Let's show them why we are. And they are certainly doing that with a 3-0 lead. A little over 3 minutes left in this match. It gets a touch on the ball, but it isn't centered. Knight way upfield, shot deflected by Farmingdale. Another shot on goal taken by Knight, and Otto is right there to shut it down. Play off the wall by Skies. The double touch. Didn't quite have the boost to pull it off. It's at an awkward angle, but here goes Knight to get the flip reset and play it above 2. But Zip is going to be there as the final goalie. Keep this game, or at least this ball, competitive. Not this game because, well, there's a lot of ground that Farmingdale has to make up. They have time to do it, but it's still a tall order, 3-0.
Good little pinch, gonna keep the ball out of danger here. Zip gonna look for a second touch off the sidewall. Is he gonna be able to do uncontested here? Now it's Lion faking the coaster pinch with the sidewall there. Knight goes for a beautiful bump onto Zip, does get it, but Skives is not quick enough for the follow-up here. Luca now trying to set up for another passing play. Now what do? Otto gets a pinch with both the opposing player and the ground. Ball doesn't go anywhere. Zip trying to control the ball on the sidewall here. Luca was there to contest, one touch by Skies. There is Knight super far up the field. Gets a pass to Luca, but it was beautifully intercepted here. Now Sonny Farmingdale trying to find an opening, gets the shot on net, but it was easily defended by Skies there. Now Knight going for the musty, isn't able to do it. Simply not enough power. Now Skies has to play with a soft touch in the corner. Gets assisted by a teammate here. Now Knight trying to get a read, not able to do it. Zip gets a pinch, but could still be dangerous here. Knight gets a second pinch with the defense, still causing chaos in the corner here. Lion trying to simply get this ball out, perhaps get a flick over a couple of the Rochester defenders. Was able to do it. It was sent back to the blue side though. Zip gets one soft touch and a pretty open net, but Knight was able to get there, fakes one defender. And Rochester gets a demo to boot as well.
Only 1 minute left in this match, and now this 3-0 lead is looking darn insurmountable. As soon as I say that, though, they try to put a shot on the goal. An explosion right in our faces. We can't see for a whole bunch of time whether the ball went in. It didn't, however. Rochester Skies in the goal, be in the defense when the Warriors need him. But another open goal! Juicy capitalizes on it. We've got a game again.
Finally seeing that side of the Sonny Farmingdale team that we saw in game 1 in terms of a lot more of the demos come alive. We also saw from Rochester at the very end of it, and a little bit of hustle to their actions right there at the very end of not letting the Rochester's low boost teammates find any way or how to get the ball out of their own side of the half. Now Sturdy Boy trying to do that as well. Does get a really good midfield contest. Maybe trying to find it for a teammate though. Zip. Beautiful read by Knight off the back wall. Get the contest. Now Skies with control, going for an air dribble. Touch is there on the defensive side for the blue team. Knight now trying to get a rotation back. Dirty Boy trying to find Lion. Lion was able to get a touch for the final couple of seconds here. They might not be able to get 2 goals, but one more isn't completely out of the picture here. Dirty Boy up to Lion. Lion trying to go down to teammate. Zip had the shot opportunity, and it was looking like a goal because that was going underneath the only Rochester defender in net. But unfortunately for them, even if they had scored that goal,
the whole game was
really wouldn't matter.
the whole game was decided on just kind of on the kind of that disastrous first minute for Farmingdale, because after that things were back to normal. They were the defensive team that they have shown they can be throughout this match. It's just something was gone that first minute.
Something they tried something different. They tried to be a little bit more offensive in their approach, and it just seemed to backfire quite a bit for them. Where 2 open goals, just you've got to keep in mind of that rotation. Where's my teammate? Where am I in the field? Do I have a third man there for defense? Am I the third man? Do I need a shadow? There's a bunch of different things that honestly, Sonny Farmingdale did really well those first 2 matches, and they had some really good timing there too. They had some very lucky timings, some very lucky shots that they were able to save, and perhaps that luck's run out and Rochester's finally able to find the open nets they've been looking for the entire series.
And I don't dislike the idea of Farmingdale to be going for more offensive plays, but it was like you said at the beginning of this game, you have to have that balance of skill in being able to pull off offense and defense. And certainly, I'm not saying that Farmingdale doesn't have any skill.
Oh, no.
But when you're going up a team of all supersonic legends, you're going to have to be near flawless in everything you do.
Oh yeah, at the highest level, really at any competitive video game, the more mistakes you make in the moment, and the better the team you're playing. If they truly are a better team, they're going to be able to capitalize on the mistakes you make. And right there, the one mistake was they gave Luka too much time in the air. And a beautiful follow-up off that backboard touch, and not quick enough for defense. Rochester goes up very early again.
Yeah, Juicy Lion had a decision. Does he go for the pass or does he go for the goal? He tried to move back up the wall to be able to block the shot, but by the time he got up there, the shot was already made. Shot toward the goal, saved by Luka. Juicy is going to push it to the corner. Shot centered, but no follow-up. Knight puts a shot back toward midfield, 50 in favor of Farmingdale. Luka, the pass back over to Skies, but Zip gets to it first. Heads off to the side of the field. Knight plays it around one, has a shot toward the goal, off the crossbar, and just doesn't trickle in, but the follow-up from Luka is going to be there. That was way too close to let that one slide.
That's about 2 or 3 times it's already happened to this Rochester team, and beforehand, they were never able to convert on it, but this time they're finally able to find it, and they're able to find it in probably the most important game, in my opinion, match point in Game 4 right here. So it's a good thing they're finally finding them, and Sunny Farmingdale's finding themselves in a similar position. A beautiful ground pinch from the ceiling there, almost found its way into the net. Unfortunately did not. Now Knight trying to carry the ball from end to end here. Flip reset, trying to find Skies. The touch was almost there by the teammate, but just couldn't find it.
Warriors looking to close this one out. They already have a lead pretty similar to the one they had last game. They're just one off the pace. Knight gets a touch. Pushes it off their own back wall. Gets it to midfield. Journey Boy blocks it, but Skies is following. Keeps the play going. Got off to the other side. Dale pushes it back toward the goal, and that one gets away from Knight. He gets the initial touch on it.
And I love that too. I love the decision to control the ball, but the touch was not there. It ends up bouncing. Ideally, that touch sticks to your car, on the side of your car. Just could not get it towards the very end of that. That is so unfortunate to find out. But they're still up by 1, so the game's not completely done, and to be honest, Rochester still controls a lot of the time spent on whose side of the field the ball's been on. Knight with some solid backboard defense. Now trying to get an air dribble going. It's going to get contested, though. And a bit of a shot on that, bit wide, though. Journey Boy is going to be there to play some defense. Get it over 1. Maybe looking for a teammate, though. Knight's going to get the cut. Otto's going to opt to get a pinch onto the sidewall here. Too much though. Now Journey Boy doing the same. Catches the ball, gets it over 1. It's only Knight up. Their touch depends on if this ball can be defended. A beautiful double touch off their own backboard there. Risky play, but it pays off. Dividends, but Journey Boy had the shot to put a very proper shot on net, but overshot it.
Luka pass over to Skies. Quick shot placed on goal, but it's read by Farmingdale. They're going to keep this game competitive, and the shot goes over the follow-up for the Warriors. So Rochester's going to have to back up as Farmingdale goes in on the counter. Skies has to play around 1. He is going to be able to do it. Knight following up. Gets a touch. Juicy trying to take it away from the Warriors. Now Zip comes in. And it is a fierce battle in midfield to try to gain control of this ball. Luka plays the shot, deflected away by Otto to the side. You look at the shots on goal, it's been Luka all the way. He is up to 5 for this round. And Skies just gets it in there. I was almost thinking that this one wouldn't go in because we've seen so many shots from this particular angle that just haven't gone in. I was surprised that, oh man, yeah, that's an unfortunate touch. And
It's such an awkward angle
Yeah.
too. You just never expect it as a defender to find its way in the net because, like you said, you just see so many shots from that side that are just way too wide or way too short. So when there finally is one that actually has a decent angle to get in, it can take you by such surprise. A bit of a blitz by Zip, almost found its way into the net. Wasn't able to though. Luka now trying to find Knight. Knight to get one more touch of the wheels. Luka going to control the ball here, closely following by Knight. Gets a bit of a musty. Sky's trying to pick up the slack here. Sitting on the backboard here. Could see a shot. It's not. There's a bit of chaos in the corner here. Luka's going to look for a clear. Line is elevated. Gets beat up by Knight though. Knight still in pursuit of this ball. Almost gets the double. Zip was the one. Okay, good defensive touches there. Now off the sidewall. Good read by Luka. Gonna clear the ball. Give the ball to Knight. Knight now trying to make something happen with the solo play. Gets the touch off the sidewall. Makes these Skies in a desperate attempt to finish the ball off, but not able to quite get there. But still, this Rochester team holds so much control over the ball for them.
there's only 30 seconds left. That would have to be a goal every 15 seconds for Farmingdale. It means we're just about done with this. Let's Zip. Zip has to score the goal here. They can't let it go, and the shot was wide open. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
That is what they will not let down for a while. Having zero boost there in that situation and a panic type state of just trying to make sure the ball finds its way in the back of the net. One missed touch was all it took. This guy's trying to get a last second flip reset play to go in. Knight put in one more shot on net. Lucas surprisingly gets a touch to save with the pre-flip. Doing it again. Knight elevates. This ball staying up for quite a bit of time at 0 seconds. Most certainly Farmingdale gonna give up as it's now a 3-1. That is Rochester. That is now 5-0 as Farmingdale is gonna go 4-2 now on their respective records. What a way for Rochester to end out the season.
And I think that raises the huge question, what are the third and fourth place teams in this division going to do? Because they could tie, overall end the season with a 4-2, and then we've got a tie, and we have to go down to tiebreaker rules. It can get very hairy for here on out. So Rochester, no questions whatsoever about if they qualify. They're the undefeated team. They're moving on to playoffs. I think for the majority of that match, we saw multiple times in which Farmingdale had a wide open goal and they just couldn't. That was the one demon, if you will, that just came back to haunt them constantly.
And it wasn't even, honestly, I just saw a whole lot of missed opportunity. Not even the sense that, there was a chance. I saw the makings for a team that really could have found a lot more in the back of the net because they had the bump mentality, they had the demo mentality, and there was quite a few times where actually they did have that chance to put a shot on net, but just weren't able to put nor power nor location in that moment. So it's really those teams that are able to find those times where they really need to perform. And for the moment, it was Rochester that was able to do it.
Well, we've got the top 5 plays of the game that we want to bring to you courtesy of Mavics Gaming Chairs. Mavics, feel the difference. And after that top 5, we'll take a short break and be back with an interview with one of the winning players. Luca from Rochester is going to be here with us to discuss this win and the perfect season they have. But for now, let's get to the Mavics top 5. Long time, but they eventually fell victim to just the pure amount of offensive shots that the Warriors were taking.
We have seen that.
Getting a lead for SUNY Farmingdale.
2-1, you cannot complain about that. A really good touch, really solid follow-up, and just an absolutely...
Down quite yet.
Trying to put something on the backboard here. Skies!
There you go.
Finally gets the double touch. They were looking for that flip reset all of game 1. They were looking for the double touch all of game 1. They finally found it in game 2. They're checking shots off.
Shot off to the other side. Farmingdale pushes it back toward the goal, and that one gets away from Knight. He gets the initial touch on it.
And I love that too. I love the decision to control the ball, but the touch was not there. It ends up sidewall was able to find it though. Knight may have the angle here. If not, they're gonna have a teammate to follow up, and that teammate is Skies. And just once again, they're playing with a different level of speed right now, and very uncharacteristically, we're seeing an open net twice in a row for Sunny Farmingdale.
Knight plays it around one, has a shot toward the goal, off the crossbar, and just doesn't trickle in, but the follow-up from Luca is going to be there. That was way too close to let that one slide.
That's about 2 or 3 times it's already happened to this Rochester team, and beforehand they were never able to convert on it, but this time they're finally able to.
Welcome back to the NACE Star League studio. We just saw a complete sweep by Rochester, giving themselves a perfect season. And we've got one of the victorious players with us. We've got Luca joining us. Thank you so much for stopping by.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, it definitely was a great game to see, although things were a little bit up in the air during the first game. We had almost a 5-minute overtime. Take us a little bit through how that was in the first game.
Yeah, I think we were just warming up a little bit to each other. We hadn't played today, and we couldn't find the back of the net, I guess. It almost felt like we were a prisoner in our net.
Fair, fair. I like it. Then sort of the same thing going off mentality wise. After winning that one, after winning a big match and then losing game 2, what's the team mentality got to look like in order to win game 3, then go on to win game 4?
With our team, we got a pretty good mentality, so I think we just had to change gears, I guess, and come back to win game 3.
I like it.
All right, well, as we're looking toward playoff season, you have a very impressive record, but not a spotless one because, like Colin said, you did drop game 2, so there might be a few things to work out going forward. So what are going to be the main things as a team to clean up going into the playoffs to make sure you have the best chance?
I feel like communication is the downside of our team, and I'm going to have to beg my 2 teammates to get better at that for playoffs.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in playoffs. You gave us a great show today. We hope to see more of you later on this year.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Luca, and thank you for joining us. Or if you're just joining us, we have so much more Rocket League to cover. We got our second match right after this. You're not going to want to miss it, so we'll take a short break and be back with more NACE, Star League, Rocket League after this.
Just found, just barely. Luca's able to follow up and just an absolutely none. There's a will, there's a way, and Knight getting 2 touches back to third, put on net. It's going to miss. Both of these teams on net, beautifully saved once again.
Welcome back to the NACE Star League studio. You're joining us for our Rocket League Day. We have 4 matches lined up for you. We got done with the first one as we saw a great victory by the Warriors. to be able to give them a perfect season. We will now be moving on to Butler versus King. And again, we have an undefeated team and a team following close behind with 1 loss. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer. I'm joined by Artemis Rain now. Call all the action for you. So, Artie, I understand that King is the undefeated team, the top dogs, if you will. But there's an interesting thing about their game history that could be cause for concern.
Yes, so sticking with the trend of my giving grades to players and teams, when you think about it, you are getting A's, but they're not perfect. It's though you're skirting along that line of dropping into the B range now at this point, because early on we had 3-0 sweep, 3-0 sweep, 3-0 sweep. First 3 games were exactly like that, but the issue that some players run into is complacency. They don't think they need to do better. I mean, we 3-0 swept our first 3 games. Why don't we just stick with what we know? Well, if you don't change, you don't get better. Teams are going to scout you. They're going to watch the VODs, the broadcasts, everything, figure out your weaknesses, and it's starting to show. Shortly after that their third 3-0, it was 3-1. Next game, 3-2. Now they're riding that line right at the 90 percentile mark. The question is, did they do the extra studying? Did they look up what the other team likes to do and try to improve their own strategies going into this next game? Lest we might actually end up in a 2-3 situation not favoring the side of Kings.
Let's take a look at the overall lineup today, see how we got here, because we started things off with a match that was between Rochester and Farmingdale. That one went 3-1, so already kind of good omen if you want more competitive games and not just sweeps. Now we're going to be moving on with King University versus Butler University, the Tornado versus the Bulldogs.
And then after this match, we're going to have Florida Tech taking on Maryville, and we'll close out our night with Boise State taking on Oakland University.
Maryville definitely that elephant in the room for Florida Tech, but we'll have to get to that on the next match. Right now, let's focus on King and Butler and see what they have brought to the table in terms of their lineups, the players that are going to be playing for them today. And the thing about King University, again, is like we see a lot of different players. We see a lot of players in King having, supersonic legend across the board. But for Butler, they have some supersonic legend, but not all.
No, but I mean, if you've played a lot of Rocket League, you know that it's kind of like learning how to walk. It is literally, you hit 1,000 hours, and that is where you're starting to actually feel as though you know what you're doing. And then you hit that 1,500 hour mark, and that is when we're starting to push into the Grand Champ range. And so for the side of King University, who are all our SSL players, we have Cynical, Storm, and Turbo.
And then for Butler University, we have Craig, Morales, and Kai. And it's just like Colin said at the beginning of the first game, rank is one thing, but the main thing it comes down to is communication, and that's synergy as a team. Are you calling things out? We saw with the winning team that we had Rochester. I mean, in the interview, the self-made interview, the reason we lost the second game and the reason it went into overtime in the first is we had communication issues. Just one piece of that arch gets taken out, and the whole thing can crumble.
I think the other keystone in this situation is also trusting your teammates to know the rotations they need to be making. It's one thing to calm, but it's another thing to be able to simultaneously call something, but you know that if you're going to go after and get in the play, get into the passing lane, something of that nature, and there's the risk of a clear coming out from the enemy team, that you have faith in your teammate to make the rotation into the back post, or make the rotation to mid to intercept and prevent that clear from happening.
And at this high of a level, this really comes down to a game of mistakes. How many does your team make? And most importantly, how good is the other team? What's their percentage rate going to be in terms of capitalizing on those mistakes? Are they going to turn every mistake into a goal? I think one of the things that was a downfall earlier for Farmingdale was they had times when the goal was wide open and they just whiffed the shot. So can't have any of that going into our second match, King versus Butler. Off to the races, and Turbo immediately looking to place a shot onto the goal. Kai is able to recover. But King already putting the pressure onto the Bulldogs. And another shot from Turbo. Double commit on the save from the Bulldogs. King is already making their stance shown. They want to win.
Cynical off the wall, has the ball pinched away by Craig, who sends it to Kai. Storm elevates at midfield. Craig will elevate from the goal line. Butler University's half sends it across the midfield stripe. Kai off the back wall, gives it to Craig. Craig will pop it up in the air. Elevation from Turbo. Gonna bring it down to midfield stripe. Has the ball taken away by Morales. Morales passes the ball to Kai. It goes up the back wall. Storm pinches it away. It's still not leaving the defensive third for King University. Off the back wall again. Cynical will manage to make it across into the defensive third for Butler University. Goes for the shot on goal, but it's pinched up towards the ceiling between Cynical and Craig. Turbo goes for the redirect. It's not on target and sent back to midfield stripe, crossing into the defensive third for King University. Storm snags it, trying to corral it here in the corner.
Got a bit of a traffic jam in the corner. Morales pushes it back to the corner, and Cynical is waiting right there. Now Storm takes charge. Stops at the first post. Turbo keeps it from going across midfield. Good touch by Butler is going to send the ball clear back over toward King's goal, and they try to put a shot on goal again, but Storm is there with the save to keep this a scoreless tie.
Turbo off the back wall. Storm tries to cut in, doesn't make contact. Instead, will demo Kai. Morales brings the ball up over one. Can't get it past Cynical. Cynical pops it to Storm. Storm tries to pinch it through two, cannot find the back of the net. Turbo goes for the follow-up. It's saved by Morales, sent to the side. Kai does not make contact. Cynical capitalizes and makes a shot on goal. It's turned away by Craig. 50-50 goes in favor of nobody. Morales pushing forward, hitting midfield stripe, but loses possession to Storm. Storm will play it off the wall and lose possession to Craig. Craig ends up pushing the ball to the back wall. Turbo sends it to midfield. Morales will elevate, drops down off the ceiling, and it's pinched up towards the ceiling by Cynical again. Kai cutting in, trying to play it off the wall to a teammate, but instead Turbo will intercept, elevates with the ball, gets the first flip reset. Nope, doesn't fully get it. Cynical with possession has to skid around Morales, plays it into the corner. So it's going to be Storm and Craig battling for possession. Both whiff on contact. Kai capitalizes on the confusion, tries to go for a shot. It's going to be saved, but Morales with the follow-up also does not find the back of the net.
Things have been a lot more even since the first 30 seconds where it seemed King might run away with it. Cynical tries to push it around the corner. Turbo gets his shot blocked by Morales. Well read by Butler. They move up the field. Turbo stops that counterplay, however. Morales gets a touch. Cynical's going to try again to find the clear for King. Gonna head over to Turbo. Turbo gets his double touch on it and gets a third to just push it into the goal.
Morales was caught flat-footed.
You could see that it was just such a quick touch by Turbo. The ball just went right back into him that I just don't think there was enough time to react.
Well, Turbo's going to start off by demoing Morales. Storm elevates, tries to carry the ball past Kai, is unsuccessful. Craig pushes it forward a little bit more. Morales loses possession of Turbo. Kai tries to steal the ball away from Storm, is unsuccessful. Craig off the wall, ball goes to Cynical. Morales off the front post, sends it to the side. Kai dunks the ball down to Craig, who whiffs on contact. Turbo takes the ball away, plays it off the wall, ends up back with Craig. A double commit from Butler University, manages to get the ball across midfield stripe, but it's going to be a 50-50 with the demo on to Cynical. Ball still dwindling at mid. Craig will flick the ball up, elevation from Cynical and Kai. Cynical first to make touch, plays it off the wall, tries to go to Storm. It's intercepted by Morales. Turbo in the corner has to battle it out for possession away from Craig. Tries to get to the midfield line, doesn't. Ball still in defensive third for King University.
1 minute left. Turbo trying to do a bit of fancy footwork, but doesn't find the goal. Craig is going to be too good of a defender for that, but King's still holding on to a 1-0 lead. A lot of Butler University is starting to run low on boost. They'll have to rotate out to fill back up. Morales tries to take it around the corner, but he has no boost. Kai to take it, but he's running low. They do manage to get it past 30 seconds, and an over-rotation by King punished severely. We said earlier it's a game of mistakes at this point, and that was a pretty much fatal one by King. Everyone was clear past the midfield line. Now Turbo comes in to try to rectify it, gets the flip reset, keeps going to try to get the goal. And it had a chance, but Morales is right there with the save. 15 seconds left, 50 in favor of Butler. Crucially for them, he's going to take that chance of a shot on goal away from King University. One goes from Butler, doesn't find it. Maybe one last chance by King, but they got to get up there on the field, and Craig gets the first touch on it, lets the ball ground, And we're into overtime again, game 1.
Off kickoff, it's Kai who makes better contact. Turbo will follow up. Aerial from Craig will send it to the back wall for King University. Storm with possession, loses it to Morales. Morales takes a shot, saved by Cynical, not fully cleared, ends up with Craig, who tries to crowd in the corner. Double commit from King University to bring the ball to midfield. Stripe. Kai looks to send it to Morales. Morales barely makes contact. It's chipped over to Cynical. Cynical has to battle around Craig, manages to get it over Craig, but 2 defenders have rotated back. It's Kai with possession. Turbo goes and steals the ball away, but Craig finds an opportunity to find a small clear, still in the defensive third for Butler, finally crossing midfield Stripe.
Kai gets a touch, moving in for the follow-up, but it's just pushed off to the side by King. Almost a minute into the match. Cynical will touch up the field, gets stopped, and double whiff on that 50. The ball heads back over toward King's territory. Push it past midfield. Craig's gonna have to go up against Cynical, and Cynical plays it under him. Runs right into Morales. Turbo now setting it up. It's a bit too high, however, but Storm takes the follow-up, and it's blocked by Craig.
Cynical in the corner, looks to send it to a teammate, can't find them there by midfield. Storm from mid, pops the ball up, has to maintain possession and get it around Craig. Flicks it over, Craig reads it, pops it towards the ceiling, but does not clear it. Morales and Turbo pinch the ball towards the corner. Storm attempting to cut in, looks for an opportunity to steal the ball from Kai. Kai pushes it into the defensive third for Butler. Thankfully, it's too wide, 50-50. Elevation from Cynical. Cynical has Storm. Storm tries to make contact, dunks it down over Kai, under Kai, but Morales saves the day, clearing the ball to the side. Kai will elevate off the back wall, send it into the corner. It's pinched towards midfield. Storm looks to be the first one there, but it's Craig to send it into the defensive third for King University.
Ball heads back toward Kai, who's gonna corral it in midfield. Cynical gets a shot toward Turbo. Turbo looking for a pass, can't find it. He'll fall to the ground, out of boost. Storm has to take it, try to keep the play going. Cynical another touch. Ball's gonna be grounded. Morales pass over to Craig. Kai's also waiting on the side. Gonna bring it around the corner, gets stopped by Storm. Storm looking to clear. 50 in favor of Butler, and they're gonna use that to, push another shot on goal, but it's too wide. We're closing in on the 3-minute marker for overtime, still tied at 1 apiece. Turbo, great dribble, deflected.
Morales with possession, has it stolen by Cynical. Cynical tries to elevate. Craig steals it, sends it to the back wall. Storm retaliates. It's in the defensive third again from Butler. Kai looks to find a clearance right into the net. Shot from Turbo, saved by Morales. Storm challenges Morales for possession. Drops down off the ceiling to Cynical. It's been played off the back wall. Instead, it's intercepted. Kai sends it across midfield stripe. Storm, who's in the defensive position already, gets possession again. Looks to... Ooh, that's it. That is the golden goal.
Almost kind of fitting in the way that this game was made competitive in terms of an over-rotation. It's now on the side of Butler that allows King to get the victory. So basically, if we're all looking in terms of the major mistakes that allowed teams to get very crucial goals, it was over-rotation on both sides, 1 apiece for each team.
Yeah, it's bound to happen. We're only human. We'll make mistakes, but it was rectified in the end, so to speak. And ultimately, King will walk away with a 1-goal lead and a first victory in our best-of-5 series.
And it's also a question of how soon they warm up, because sometimes complacency can get you, or maybe it's just the first game and you're still trying to, feel out the other team, see what their strategy is, how they like to play. We saw a very similar situation a little bit earlier with Rochester, and then in the next few games, past game 2, they were very much in control of the match. So we'll see if that margin grows for King, or things will stay the same. Very competitive and winning by only 1 goal. Now we're ready to head into game 2 of this best-of-5. Tornadoes versus Bulldogs. Remember, this is the final game of the regular season before we head off into playoffs. And, of course, we talk about those LCQs that we have been teasing so much over these past few weeks.
Yes, and these teams, no one ever wants to have to be an LCQ, but you'll do the best with what you have. However, it then pits you against every single one of the top teams from there on out once you make your way through the LCQ. So King, Butler, who's going to send someone into that situation, who's going to continue their run with the better game margin, as we have Kai playing off the back wall. Does have Turbo go for the challenge. Dumps it past Turbo. Storm will elevate at the midfield stripe. Looks like Morales will leave it to Craig to interfere, pinching the ball towards the ceiling. Cynical comes in, plays it off the back wall, has Turbo for follow-up. Double commit from the defense. Ball is right above the net. Can they find the angle? Cynical's attempts are thwarted. It's Craig in the corner challenging Storm for possession.
Storm tries to backflip, keep the ball from being cleared. Cynical comes in. Right now, pretty low velocity shots, all things considered. That's going to change with that one, however. Huge bomber back over clear, goes through Turbo with the save, and then immediately gets demoed for it. But it does keep this tied at 0 apiece. Kai going in, trying to squeeze it past all the tornado, and a follow-up shot by Morales is going to keep them on their toes. Kai attempts another follow-up shot. Bit wide to the side, however, and now King University pushes it back to midfield. Will Butler let them get the clear? Will they fight back? It looks to be the latter. Once again, King has been their own defensive third.
Cynical off the ceiling brings the ball into Butler University's defensive area. Storm tries to play it around Morales, is successful, but loses possession to Craig. See a demo on the keeper of Morales. Cynical capitalizes on Butler being one player down, and that is King University coming in with the first goal.
It's not just being one player down, it was the player who was right in front of the goal ready to stop that shot. They quickly adapted. You saw another player from Butler rotate in extremely quickly. It was just a second too late. Right off the goal again.
Wow.
Make a good thing better. Cynical immediately gets the shot. I have to see this again. Oh, yes, it's the cheat again. We saw it in the first match as well. Goals quickly gotten off the kickoff by having someone cheat up behind it. Paying dividends today for a lot of teams.
I heard you talking about who can get the goal right after kickoff being the most important thing, and then just having solid defense.
Woo!
Cynical with the hat trick. 3 goals. We still have 3 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. Can Butler respond? Because right now it is all the Bulldogs inside that defensive third, claiming the space and keeping Butler away from their own goal.
And remember, I keep referencing back to Rochester versus Farmingdale, but sometimes it is your team. Maybe you have a close game. It goes into overtime when you're not expecting that, and that shakes your team awake. In a similar way, King University had went into overtime 1 apiece, and now it seems the Tornado have completely woken up. Storm looking to get yet another goal and drive it in off the crossbar. And a demo onto Kai.
Ball pinched by Craig and Storm. It's still here in King University territory. Cynical plays it off the wall. Kai looks to intercept, does not make contact. Craig from the mid steals it away, flicks it towards the wall. Morales comes in. It's pinched down off the ceiling. Kai doesn't make contact. Turbo tries to push it to Cynical. Cynical will not find the ball. Morales has to get it past Cynical. It's pinched up towards the ceiling, dunks down onto the ground. Turbo plays it off the back wall. Morales does not make contact. Craig, however, brings it to the mid, has the ball stolen away by Cynical. Off the wall, Cynical comes in, looks to pinch the ball down off the ground and past 2 defenders. It's unsuccessful. Morales finds the clear, and it's at the midfield stripe with Cynical yet again, who's looking for their 4th goal of the game.
Storm elevates, passes to Turbo, back over to Cynical. Past the midfield mark, Turbo goals, plays it around 1. Guy gets a touch on it, the ball goes off to the other side. Storm intercepts. Craig knows still being bumping and disrupting King University's plays. This time though, King is just going to be happy to keep it in Butler's half. As long as they can do it for this last minute and a half. Now do or die for Butler, I would say. You want kind of 30 seconds to score for each goal, and we're already past that point. So the Bulldogs need to get a goal now, and I think that's the nail in the coffin. Final one from Cynical. Very nice solo play and ability to quickly recover.
I know it's spooky season, so this is a little fitting, but I think you might have cast a curse that just a little bit.
I might have? Okay, well, I mean, hey, we won't have to worry for too long. We've got a minute left, so we'll see if I did indeed curse it.
Well, we've
Storm,
got... all three defenders were converging onto our offensive ball handler. So we have Kai going forward. Dunks it down, manages to find the first goal, but as he mentioned earlier...
I'm not saying anything. I am not saying anything. I'm just going to say that's a great dribble by Kai. Morales following closely afterwards. And again, we've seen teams, if they rotate too far up, they consistently get punished. 1 minute left. Still trailing by 3. Demo goes on to Turbo.
Oh, Morales? Nah, Cynical's there. Cynical with full possession. Morales does steal it away for a moment, but it's in the corner. It's with Craig. You've got 44 seconds. Can you make some magic happen? Get 3 goals in if you're Butler?
Morales takes the ball, leaves it for Craig. Back into the corner. Kai has a chance at a shot. He wins at 50, but the ball's too high, and Craig misses the dunk shot. Now with just about 20 seconds left, they still got to make up 3 goals. The Bulldogs have their work cut out for them.
Craig attempting to close that goal gap. Has the ball cleared to mid. It's with Cynical, the person who's scored 3 of these goals for King University. Morales tries to get it around Storm, is unsuccessful. With 1 second remaining, this ball needs to stay in the air, but either way, 1 extra goal for Butler still means that King University walks away with the Game 2 victory. Ball crosses midfield stripe. Morales pushes it towards the ceiling, plays it off the wall, dunks down off the ceiling. Craig plays it off the back wall. Follow-up from Kai. They manage to find the second goal, but it is at the 0-second mark.
This has to be a feel-good goal at this point, and now it's a reverse sweep that is all laid out for Butler that they've got to pull out. I will admit, you had me going there. that last minute, you to just casually mention that I might have cursed them, and then less than 10 seconds later, a goal was scored. Alarm bells were sounding in the back of my head.
Is it not my job to induce panic into everyone that works with me?
That is true. Well, you do like spooky season. So
I do love spooky season.
You do like scaring people, and so you gave me a bit of a fright there. But no fright for the side of King. They are just blazing a trail, looking to end their season with a statement of 3-0. We were talking a little bit, things have been narrowing. They started off with 3-0, then 3-1, then last game 3-2, but this game, it might be back to old form.
I did mention that we saw the 3-2 in their favor from their last game, but this one could turn into a 2-3 if the complacency hits them too hard. So, will they walk away and rekindle the flame of the 3-0 sweep and put their record at 5-0 and leave Butler with a 4-2 record? Well, they've got 5 minutes to prove us either right or wrong.
It's all down to this match point for Tornado. And if they win this, then I would say that's pretty good news for the next match that we have on deck, Florida Tech versus Maryville. Maryville is in that undefeated spot, so having the first 2 undefeated teams get a win puts the pressure on you, but it might also give you the motivation. But we can't get too ahead of ourselves. We still have to decide who is going to win this match. Butler University looking to fight back, start a reverse sweep. Turbo deflect is going to be blocked by Morales. Cynical comes in, pass over to Turbo. Ball is high up in the air, Storm comes in, beautiful deflect! Picture perfect accuracy.
All right, so Turbo's pass dunks off the ceiling, and Storm just tip of the car, top right corner. Again, another defender who was struggling to predict where that ball would end up, could not elevate in time to make the save.
Side of the wall, Turbo goes. Oh, gets it stolen away from him by Morales. Cynical. Huge bomber and a demo up the field. Pinches it off the wall, but isn't going to be able to get it past the front corner. He'll get Turbo gets demoed, given an opening for Butler to gain back some territory, but no goal for you. Turbo pushes it off to the side, leaves it for Cynical, who continues dribbling it up the field. Shot by Turbo is going to put it off to the corner.
Storm challenges Morales for possession. Still going to be King University hanging on. Turbo teeth ball off of one. Morales with possession at mid. Pops it up. Trying to get it over Cynical. Now has to get it past Storm. Chooses the demo Storm instead. Cynical pops the ball up. Takes it to mid. Is disrupted by Kai in the back corner. King University's half of the field. We have a pinch towards the net. Doesn't work. Out back towards midfield. Strike Morales gets it up over one. Storm off the wall. Almost it hits the crossbar. Then the top bar. Makes it out of the net, back to the midfield stripe. Morales pushed the ball really far forward, so it's Turbo, manages to make a save, sends it to the side. It's Cynical there, challenged by Kai. Morales comes in as the ball loses a little bit of speed, tries to get the flip reset, instead lets the ball die down. Now Craig comes in, plays it off the corner, a little too slow, and goes too wide of the net for anyone to follow up immediately.
Storm goes across midfield. The red zone for Butler. Turbo looking for a dunk. He sets it up for Cynical, and the shot goes off to the other side. Storm sets it up, and the pass whiffs. But he still has control. Refills on Boost. Boost starves Butler for good measure as well. Right now, it's just a whole bunch of close fighting, but no clear possession of the ball.
One thing is clear, Butler is starting to lose the defensive line. After that demo, let's see what happens right at the midfield. We lose one. Kai off the wall. The teammate who's supposed to be there is in the shadow realm. And tragically, that's goal number 2 going in.
Halfway through, kickoff one by Kai. Cynical in the follow-up. Sets it up for a quick goal. He's his own follow-up. Complete solo play by Cynical. He gets the corner boost, and he's ready to go. He's got a full tank of boost. He's going to use it immediately. Push King University into, I think we've been here before, a familiar 3-0 lead.
We are just crossing that halfway point threshold. Kai from their own defensive third brings the ball to midfield, gets it around one, but Cynical waiting patiently, snags it, pops it up over 2. Now has to just beat Craig. Craig will flick the ball towards the side. Kai comes in to apply pressure towards the follow-up, manages to maintain possession to midfield. Stride ball is going to be volleyed back against the back wall of Butler University. Turbo goes for the challenge against Morales. Instead, kites back to the midfield control, leaving Storm to go for the challenge. Storm decides to leave Cynical. Cynical brings it around one. Can't get it past Craig. It's going to be Storm coming in with possession. Does once again another team player losing the possession to Craig, but Cynical comes in, centers it up. The follow-up, however, is a little bit lagging behind. It's still here in the defensive third for Butler University.
Turbo back passes it to Storm. Shot clear up. Back to Butler. Morales, shot on goal, saved by Storm. They keep it at a big old goose egg for Butler. They are trying, but that was the only shot on goal they have managed to get this whole game.
Turbo plays it off the wall for Cynical. Cynical's goofed out of the way by Kai. Kai demos Storm. Craig with possession has 2 teammates flanking him. Fortunately lands on the ground and ends up with, it was Turbo for a moment, then Storm. They pinch it out of their net. Crossing midfield stripe, the volley goes to Craig. Craig will pop the ball up. We are almost at the 30-second mark. We are now. Storm plays it off the back wall, goes for the double touch. The double touch leads it into the corner. Midfield stripe with Morales. Ball off the back wall for Kai, but Kai is pushed out of the way by Storm.
Turbo goes for the flip reset, keeps the ball moving. Oh, it looked like King pushed up a little too far, but, well, they paid for it. They almost do. A shot is just a bit too high. There just isn't enough time for Butler to stage a comeback right now. King University has this one done and dusted. Just need the ball to hit the ground, and they will have their 3-0 sweep. So we had the question as we started this game, was King slipping at all? I think they gave us the answer, a big fat no. Impact font, bold, italicized, and underlined for good measure.
No emojis?
No emojis. It is just, they're an exclamation point, however.
Okay, I'll take that one.
But just one, because more than one and you're diluting the value of the exclamation point.
We can agree to disagree on this one, but nonetheless, congratulations, King University, on keeping your perfect record. You are now 5-0 while sending Butler away from this game with a 4-2 competitive record for the season.
And also, we want to give a thank you to the various people that we have supporting NACE Star League. We got a bunch of great sponsors. Mavic's one of them, bringing you the top 5 plays of the game, which you will see soon. But we also have Extra Life and NACE Star League. Extra Life is a program of Children's Miracle Hospital. You can play games for a great cause to change kids' lives. And we also have Truth, largest nonprofit health organization dedicated to a future where tobacco and nicotine addiction is a thing of the past. For more information on how vaping can affect your mental health, go to breathofstressair.com. That's the second game all done. Now we are all set up for Game 3 with the Titan of Maryville ready to make their appearance. We'll see how that goes, but we'll bring you the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you once again by Mavics. Feel the difference with their gaming chairs. We'll be back after this break.
A clear coming out from the enemy team that you can have faith in your teammate to make the rotation into the back post, or make the rotation to mid to intercept and prevent that clear from happening.
And halfway through, kickoff one by Kai. Cynical in the follow-up. Sets it up for a quick goal. He's his own follow-up complete.
3 defenders were converging onto our offensive ball handler. So we have Kai going forward, dunks it down, manages to find the first goal, but
I'm not saying anything. I am not saying anything. I'm just going to say that's a great dribble by Kai. Morales following closely afterwards. And again,
I heard you talking about who can get the goal right after kickoff being the most important thing, and then just having solid defense. Cynical with the hat trick. 3 goals. We still have 3 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. Can Butler respond? Because right now it is all the Bulldogs inside that defensive third, claiming the space and keeping Butler. Right, Morales pushes it towards the ceiling, plays it off the wall, dunks down off the ceiling. Krig plays it off the back wall. Follow-up from Kai. They manage to find the second goal, but it is at the 0-second mark.
This has to be a feel-good goal at this point, and deflect is going to be blocked by Morales. Cynical comes in, pass over to Turbo. Ball is high up in the air. Storm comes in. Beautiful deflect. Picture perfect accuracy.
All right, so Turbo's pass dunks off the ceiling, and Storm. Back to the NACE Star League studio. I'm your host, Artemis Rain, and joining me is KhazixMayJump, and we just got done with 2 back-to-back games that introed with a nearly double regulation time. Game 1. Colin is giggling over here. I believe yours was a little bit longer than mine. However, you think we're going to have a 3rd game in a row that's going to start out with an overtime Game 1?
I'm going to say, for mercy's sakes, no. I do think this is the one. So we're going back to back with these. It was iterated beforehand that these teams we have similar situations going into it. I just think a 3rd time's a charm just not going to exist here. It's quite literally the records are same, the stakes are same. They're all East Division as well. They're in different leagues, but they're all East teams. So it's just too much of a similarity. The 3rd time would be like the black cat walking underneath the ladder.
It is spooky season, though, so just you saying that alone is enough to convince me we're probably going to see an overtime in Game 1. With that being said, we can take a quick look at the story that we've had thus far today with the first 2 matches that we had. It was Rochester taking on Sunny Farmingdale, followed up by King University taking on Butler, and Rochester ended up being victorious with a 3-1 victory. King University in a 3-0 sweep, and now it is time for Florida Tech going against Maryville. Do you have a prediction? Is it going to be 3 games, 4 games, 5 games?
I think it's going to be 3. I think we're going to stick on the trend of 3. I think for both of these teams, they're both relatively stacked rosters. They both, you know, if we're talking about it, they have an SSL. On the side of Maryville, they have 3 SSLs that they're going to have for their availability as well. But I've said it before. I mean, it's just don't count the underdog. They sort of have that ability to sneak up on you when they do. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Well, for these teams, you mentioned the SSL. That's actually DASK for Florida Tech. And then we have Beast and Feastum, one of those fun-to-say names that Jacob always loves. ALO and Sloth for the side of Florida Tech.
On Maryville, we got Stealth, Knight, and Calyx.
All 3 of those players are SSL players as well. Florida Tech's record is currently 4-1, where Maryville is at 5-0. Will Maryville continue to have a perfect unscathed record walking into the playoffs 5-0? Or is it going to be Florida Tech to walk away with a 5-1 competitive record? Your face and your eyes are telling me, Artie, don't you dare try to ruin someone's competitive record this late in the season.
Maryville is such, not even just like a strong Rocket League team. They're such a strong university across several of the esports teams that they have in the entirety. So it's just, I feel they got a certain record, certain pride to uphold, and I really don't think they're going to let it down this game.
Maryville's name definitely carries weight, but the question is, can their Rocket League players carry that weight on their shoulders as well as the stress of trying to maintain this 5-0 record and go into the 6-0? Well, we've got 5 minutes to figure out if their record remains unblemished or not as we intro into game number 1. I predicted an overtime. Colin is begging that we don't see one for everyone's mental well-being, but of course, I am fueled by chaos every single day of my life, so I am perfectly fine with an overtime.
You know, I'm going to call it. It's not going to be game 1, it's going to be game 2.
You're gonna, so you do predict an overtime, but not game 1.
Just to be on the bandwagon. I'll hop on.
All right.
I'll hop on the bandwagon, but
it.
I'm going to be a little different. I'll be a little different. I'll say game 2.
It's quirky.
I'm a little quirky, just a little bit.
Well, as we go into kickoff, Beast and Feaston attempted to send it into defensive third. Knight volleys it right back across. All 3 members of Florida Tech bunched up into that back area of their half of the field. It's going to be Beast and Feaston flicking it forward. Knight elevates, pops it to the wall where Stealth is waiting. Stealth attempts to get a nose on it, does not, lands on the ground, has a stolen away. Follow-up touch from Knight, top right corner. All 3 members caught off guard for Florida Tech. That's goal number 1, going over to Maryville.
Simple little pop into the top right bins. Knight just finds the opportunity, finds that there's a teammate not with their wheels planted to the ground and not close enough to really pose a threat. Just got to put a soft little touch into that top right corner. That's all it's going to take. Now off the kickoff, Florida Tech is going to win that just a little bit. But Knight now has a lot of the possession here, typically where you want to stand, going for the air dribble. Pretty close to own goal, though. Not close enough, though, to really pose a threat. Now Kaz going for a bit of solo play. Is able to get over 1, but not able to get past the defender. Task. On the back foot, though, able to disrupt Stealth a little bit, but the ball is still off the backboard, also defended well. But Knight and this Maryville team are unrelentless, and there's a demo. Is there a double? There is, but it's not quite on target. It's going to go out just a bit outside.
Seeing the ball in the defensive third from Maryville. Attempt to clear by Stealth is thwarted by Beast and Feaston. ALO off the wall, tries to corral it. Knight brings it forward, taken away by Dask. Dask with possession, has Beast and Feaston waiting in the wings. Challenges Stealth for possession. Stealth wins out the battle, brings it to midfield stripe. ALO applying pressure to Knight, but Knight breaks away, gets a couple of touches. It blinds across the top crossbar, goes to the other side of midfield stripe. Alex tries to pop it past ALO. ALO makes contact, 50-50, favors Stealth. Stealth sent it to the back wall. Dask is there, but the follow-up touch from Stealth is perfect.
Nasty.
That is goal number 2 for the side of Maryville.
Out of nowhere in the POV that we were looking at there, the flip reset off the ceiling was great. Just the reset of the flip is actually what it is, not a flip reset. A little bit of a tongue twister. You can say that 5 times real fast. But now back to the game. Dask in the air, does get a bit of a pinch, sends it back to the corner with the help. ALO Beast facing gonna get a touch, a bit of an open net though. Where there was a beat by Knight. Dask is able to get a pinch with the sidewall though. Alo gets bumped out of play, but is conveniently back in play because of that bump. Decides to play it low, gets the flip. Was able to contest. Dask gonna send it to the red corner here. Kha'Zix gets bumped. Beast and Faith able to put a soft touch on net, defended out by Knight. Bit of a pinch, sends it back to the right corner here. Stealth, get it one more touch, get a couple other, get it past Des. Now looking for a teammate in the midfield here. Opts to go around them instead. Is there a follow-up? There is. And that's the kind of smart forward-thinking play ahead you're looking from a team named Maryville.
Maryville now places themselves firmly in the lead in 3-0 as we're getting ever so close to that 2-minute and 30-second mark. Dask off the back wall has Beast and Feastin waiting for them, but Beast and Feastin, as I'm mentioning his name, Kha'Zix demos them. Dask loses possession. Kha'Zix decides to gets demoed by demos Cast. Beast and Feastin off the back wall tries to give to Alo for the clear. It's in the corner. Challenged by Kha'Zix, sends it to midfield stripe where Stealth is waiting. Question is, will we see the breakaway finally come through for Florida? Instead, it's Knight to elevate, steal it right back, send it to midfield stripe, gets it around Dask. Beast and once again demoed. Stealth off the wall. Alo intercepts. Dask looking to grab the ball at midfield. Has Alo for assistance, but Knight steals the ball away off the shot, pops it up over Beast and Feastin, pops over Beast and Feastin again, but Alo intercepts off the back wall. Ball is sent to the corner, defensive third from Maryville. Alo is getting pressured by Knight, loses possession. Knight has Dask in front of them. Dask pressures one off the ball. Beast and Feastin once again taking all of the anger from Maryville, getting demo after demo onto himself.
Alo going for the touch, wasn't able to quite get it. Stealth's up now. Was looking for the solo play, not able to quite get it done though. Knight elevates, gets the touch off the wheels, looking for the double. Is able to get it. Alo gonna keep it in their corner though. Stealth is gonna get one touch and dip out real quick. Knight tries to fake, goes to the shadow defense instead. Gonna pay off though. Bit of poor touch though. It is defended well, but there's a shot again. Stealth again, 2 for 2. Gonna save the ball. Alo trying to put it back on target here. The backboard defense by Stealth is through again.
Less than 1 minute remaining. Knight with the attempted shot, saved by Dask. Alo slows the ball down right in front of their defensive third, gets it across midfield stripe. It's gonna be Dask with possession. Knight applying pressure to Beast and Feastin, but Alo has none. Alo takes the shot, Stealth steals it away before it's even accredited by the system. Now at midfield stripe, Dask goes for the challenge, gets the ball around one. Kha'Zix demos Alo. It seems to be the name of the game for Maryville now, is take one player out consecutively, make it harder for them to sustain, stay alive, and keep the ball out of their own defensive third. Alo dunks the ball down off the ceiling. It pops up. It looks like Beast and Feastin and Dask are in front of all of the defense for Maryville. Dask's shot is not on target. We're last 10 seconds. Alo making a desperate attempt to find one goal for the side of Florida Tech before they walk through game one with a goose egg on the scoreboard.
It definitely felt like Maryville was a step or two ahead of Florida Tech for that game. It just did not seem much like Florida Tech had anything to say, a rebuttal against Maryville. It's one of the things I've always talked about in terms of when you want to play fast, you play with no hesitation. I feel like that is a thing with almost any sport and any esport there is competitively, an FPS or Rocket League. When you play with no hesitation and you play with absolute certainty of what I need to do and what my teammates are also capable of, when your teammates are that good and you're that good and you all have this understanding and you're all singing Kumbaya, you end up being a very difficult team to beat.
Are you telling me Kha'Zix was singing Kumbaya while getting a grotesque amount of demos?
I know you've been in competitive collegiate player comms before, and you're telling me those aren't some of the weirdest comms you've ever been a part of.
I have definitely been a part of some very strange comms.
So you never know. You never know.
Well, it looks like Maryville is once again on the assault, takes the first shot of game 2. It's going to be stolen away by Alo, sent back to midfield. Try Beast and Feasting, goes through the redirect all the way from the mid. Double commit, Stealth will be the one to make the save. Das plays it off the wall, loses possession. Elevation from Alo from the back wall. Looks to take the ball from Calix, cannot do it. Beast and Feast instead comes in, gets it around 1, doesn't get it past Stealth. Stealth now in the corner, looking to corral the ball from their defensive third, sends it to Calix, but Alo returns the favor. The bloodthirst finally sinking through, demoing Calix, our demolition expert from the previous game.
Can't be a threat thrown out of the field. It's just sort of how that ends up working out. Stealth off the sidewall, trying to make something happen. Wasn't able to quite get it through. Knight as the last defender. Got to play some shadow here, but Calix pays it back in double, gets 2, gets a bit of revenge. Knight trying to press the ball forward, not able to quite do it, gets the ball stolen. Alo trying to get the ball to continue going forward. Das does get a follow-up demo as well. Seltron trying to find a teammate in the midfield to put a shot in net, wasn't quite able to do it. Alo with possession gets beat out by Knight though. Beast now has to put it bit in reverse. Das the one to intercept. Knight gets another demo and a pinch off the sidewall, or near the sidewall, off the top of.
No way.
I don't know whose car that was.
Is that my first ever on broadcast cutter pinch?
I don't know if that was a Cuxer pinch.
I didn't have the right angle.
I honestly wasn't looking at that. I was looking at the. I think at the own goal. But we'll credit it. We'll credit it.
Well, that's making up for the blunder. That's the first goal for Florida Tech.
Yeah, just solid all around. Way to play Rocket League, takes advantage of a good position for the ball and puts a solid shot on net. And now this game is 1-1, complicated 0. Oh, with Das gets sent flying. Stealth may find a teammate in the midfield. Kaz with a shot relatively open net. Feast gets the defensive save though. Now on the offensive, gonna play it slow, gets the ball taken away from Calix as Das is there to respond. Now Stealth trying to play off the teammate there, gets a good pinch off the ceiling. Might try to stick with it, not able to do it. Calix there to try and put another shot on net. Also not able to put it in. Knight slows it down off the backboard.
Knight challenged by Das, sent to the midfield. Alo pushes forward in front of Stealth, tries to get in the passing lane, sends Beast and Feastin to do so. The redirect sends it to the side. Now it's right in front of the net. Goes across midfield stripe. Das has the opportunity. There's no one home, but it hits the goalpost and is cleared by Stealth. Back to the defensive third for Florida State. The open goal served up on the silver platter. Unfortunately, was swiped away. It was not your food. I apologize.
It's unfortunately not the angle to find it. Speaking of angles, Knight trying to find one creatively. Calix now setting the ball softly for Stealth. Stealth opts to go low and slow. And it's going to get its way past 2 of Florida Tech's defenders. That puts Maryville now up 2-1. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Still quite a bit of game left here, and Florida Tech has shown a bit of signs of life here by putting one on the scoreboard. And a pinch off the ceiling almost found its way in as well.
Calix around 1, around 2. Pops up towards the ceiling, drops over to Stealth. Stealth doesn't make contact. Knight takes the shot. Saved by Beast and Feast, and who hasn't been demoed nearly as much in game 2 as we saw in game number 1. Probably breathing a sigh of relief as Das pushes the ball to the back wall. Alo goes to interrupt the defender. Fortunately, does not work out. Beast and Feastin comes back, makes the clear. Calix plays it into the corner. Beast and Feastin again brings it to midfield. Knight grabs it, sends it to Calix, who has 2 defenders commit on making sure Calix does not maintain possession of that ball.
Stealth now trying to get a challenge off the ceiling. Not able to get the initial touch, but is able to get a follow-up on it. Puts a shot on net, trying to reach Calix or just bought it in. Knight goes low off the ceiling. Bit of a trouble having the recollectability, but Calix was there to finish it off for the teammate and make sure Maryville has a pretty solid cushiony zone, I guess, or buffer zone.
It's the ever so important 2-goal lead.
Very important, and you know, I think as you and Jacob emphasized last game as well, once you start getting above that 3 number, it just starts becoming closer and closer to final nail in the coffin as a shot gets put on target by Beast, but beautiful defense by Knight there is going to save it out. Now trying to re-click themselves, but Beast going to put another flick. Stealth now credit another save, the third of the game for Stealth there. Maryville staying alive while Florida Tech's put on a clinic.
Knight sends the ball to midfield stripe. Stealth pitches it off the wall, plays it to himself. Off the back wall, it's Calix to come in. Beaston does not find the right elevation. Knight plays it to the wall again, has Calix. Alo attempts to rotate to mid, but the ball is going to go into the back of the net. That's goal number 4 for Maryville.
I mean, just textbook flip reset play. I mean, once the flip resets there, it's just you can get so much power on the ball in a second. It's difficult to catch up to once the mechanic's been hit. 39 seconds left in the game. Now that dreaded 3-goal lead, a demo right off the kickoff here. But Dask has possession here, but unfortunately, 0 boost to capitalize on it. Now Stealth might be trying to find a solo play. Gets interrupted by Knight and Alo.
Dask with possession, plays it off the wall around Stealth, but does not get it past Calix. Calix is challenged by Dask, who dunks the ball down. Knight comes in to help out their teammate. Alo drops down from the wall, gets it away from Knight for a moment. Calix off the back walls, we're ticking down. Last 7 seconds, Alo on the backboard again, steals it away. Pushes it forward, we have 2 seconds remaining. Now ball hits the ground, that is it, and that's Maryville walking away with a 4-1 victory in game number 2. So we were both wrong, by the way, no overtime.
No overtime. Maryville has not let it get to that yet. So, I mean, I credit them for not going there. However, though, we're going to have to see some pretty stark changes on the side of Florida Tech in order for it to go to an OT like that. Because Maryville is going to be a high-scoring team. Like, they just are going to have to be. They're just mechanically strong, their team play-wise strong, their game sense smart. So it's just, I feel like the only real way to beat them is either to be gods at defense, which is very difficult to do when you're already down 2 series, or start putting up as many goals as them, which the defensive display they put on that game as well was pretty impressive. So it might just, it's going to be very hard.
Well, I don't know if Calix just decided to pull the plug a little bit on the missile that he was playing as, because Beaston did not end up in the shuttle run for the majority of that game, and Beaston had quite a few saves made for his team. So if they can continue to facilitate and allow Beaston to survive and stay more in that midfield zone, make sure clears aren't being done easily, doesn't give the ball away for free, and we let the other 2 commit to being that offensive pressure, perhaps we'll see a little bit more success here for Florida Tech.
As well as 3 shots on net as well. That were very good shots as well that could have found their way at the back of the net on any given day. Now back into game 3, match point for Maryville. Will they 3-0 this series, or Florida Tech be able to grab one and stay alive? Got to stick around for 4 minutes and 42 seconds longer to see that happen. Knight off the ceiling, gets the flip reset, gets 1 touch, trying to get the power of friendship in there. The stealth. Oh, and Knight trying to make it creative, wasn't able to find the touch, and Alo's going to be the one to clear it.
Stealth pops the ball up, goes to Knight. Dask looking for an opportunity to snag it off the back wall, does so, gets a flip reset, plays it, does not play around Calix. Said it's going to be Calix to Stealth. Calix off the back wall with the double touch, threads it past Beast and Feast, and that's goal number 1 for Maryville.
Already this team, I mean, the passing setup, you just can't get any cleaner than it. You simply cannot. The control this team has over the ball and their possession is just next level. And you've got to put up that level of contest if you want to stick in the ring with this team for very long. But it's only 1-goal game, so nothing's completely out of it yet. Dash now to contest off the side wall. Is going to be able to get it past 1 Stealth, gets 1 touch, followed by the second on the side. Beast put the shot on net, saved out by Knight. Dash now to quickly rebuttal here, could be interesting. Beast not gonna have to make a touch, opts not to go for it, leaves it for Alo. Alo might be looking for the double, not able to quite get to it. Stealth's there instead, gets it around Beast. Dask is now on the third, going to be put in a tricky situation. Gonna opt just to rotate back to back post. Alo gets a good defensive save there. Now only 1 defender in the net for the side of Maryville, but Dask not able to find the teammate in the middle. This could be trouble. Not a whole lot of boost on the side of Florida Tech as well.
Knight is going to be demoed by Dask in the corner. Alex will steal the ball, send it to midfield. Knight off respawn, pushes it back against the wall, leaves it for Alex. Both in offensive positions, manages to let the ball go off the back wall. Stealth finds goal number 2 for Maryville.
Just an absolute banger of a shot right there. Just the placement, the power, and they were pretty close to saving that ball as well. That's all I want to mention. That was millimeters away from a touch that sends that ball going completely in a different direction. Good shooting by the side of Maryville there. They're now up 2-0 with sub 3 minutes left in the game as Knight gets the touch with the wheels, gets the flip reset, a double, tries to set up Calix for the redirect. It was almost a highlight reel play, but unfortunately not this time around.
Calix almost flats the goal, takes a shot, but it does not find its path to the back of the net as we have Knight come in, send it to Calix, just playing off the back wall, who flicks it to Stealth. Stealth in the air, back to Calix, and dunks down off the ceiling. Probably not what the side of Maryville was looking for. Stealth slows the ball down, has it stolen by Alo, but Knight, who'd rotated to the back post, quickly comes forward. Ball drops out off the ceiling. Dash tries to make contact, does not find it. Knight pushes the ball towards the ceiling, it drops down to Stealth, but Alo makes contact first. Knight will flick it, center it up for a teammate, but Dash will interfere. Calix goes for the shot on net, is pushed away. Ball at midfield stripe was Stealth. Stealth was also pushed away from possession. Feaston tries to come in, does not make contact and get involved with the play. Ball is in front of the net for Florida Tech, just a touch on it. Oh! I think Knight just accidentally got rid of his own goal-scoring opportunity. We're now at the 1 minute 40-second mark. Knight's gonna reset it, do it again, gets the flip reset, tries to go for the double. It's unsuccessful, and on the ground, Alo will push it forward to the midfield stripe. Calix will stop the ball dead in its tracks as Das dunks it down. It goes to Knight. Looks like they're going for a coast-to-coast play if you're Maryville right now, but Feaston looking to capitalize on the open net because you're trying to be too flashy. That's Florida Tech with their first goal.
And that's just a really good passing play there. I love it when teams are coordinated enough to send the ball from shallow goal position inside that first net, that net position into deeper midfield. I absolutely love it. Florida Tech was able to pull it off, and now within this 1-goal lead here, minute 15 left remaining, we saw a similar position as last game, but that does not happen tonight in game 3 as Florida Tech is going to find a over-rotated Maryville and put another one in the back of the net. We got to score a tie game.
Going to kick off. Dax will push away the other Maryville player attempting to get involved. Feaston to go forward in the defensive third for Maryville. Knight placed off the wall multiple times to himself. In the corner, it's going to be Dax who barely pinched the ball away. Alo plays it up and over their own net. Leaves the ball, allows Feaston to come in, but Feaston was too far away. Now it's Knight with possession in the corner. Who's going to challenge Knight? It's going to be Alo. Alo challenged by Stealth. Dax is waiting for an opportunity to help out their teammate. Does find it, but pushing on the ceiling, it was Calix waiting. Feaston sends the ball to midfield, crosses into defensive third for Maryville to 2-on-1 against Alo. Dax comes in, tries to steal the ball away from Knight. Knight has the ball stolen by Feaston. Stealth off the back wall. It goes straight to Das. Feaston in the corner. Push the ball forward. Calix waited for the opportunity to flick it to Knight. Knight plays it in the corner to Stealth. Off the top crossbar. Calix comes in. Ball is almost in the back of the net as Dax pinches it down against the ground and into the corner.
10 seconds left. Calix up in there. Has enough boost. Stealth and Knight also having adequate boost as well. Stealth trying to meet. Oh, the shot potential, it was there. But Feaston, the absolute wall for Florida Tech on the defensive side. Also quite the goal scorer to boot. Now Dash on the offensive, trying to go for the 50, isn't able to do it though. Alo sends it around. Feaston was there, attempting to put a shot on net. Knight gets it up and over. It gets bumped out of the way as well. The boom to the other side of the corner. Stealth not going for the contest, is able to do it. Feaston decides not to cut, it's not up to Das. Das being able to get 50, send it to the red side. Knight gets one touch, sticking with it, gets one more, puts a shot on net. Beast is the one to save it here. Stubbs is going to get a touch. The full boost gets claimed for the side of Florida Tech. KhazixMayJump is going to get a touch, cut around one, get it under a second, might be able to get it around a third, is able to do it, and meets Stealth on the other side of the net. That is Maryville putting up a beautiful play to end it out in OT. And give Maryville a series W.
Well, I was wrong. I predicted game 1. You predicted game 2. And even though he's off screen, I'm going to just say that Jacob, in his mind, because he doesn't have a microphone attached to him right now, said it's going to be game 3 and was correct.
I think I did hear that as well.
Yep, he's giving us a thumbs up. So yeah, Jacob, you are correct. Game 3 was the overtime game, but Maryville will walk away with a 3-0 victory nonetheless. So congratulations, Maryville.
And I really did love to see at the end of the day that Florida Tech kind of came out of their shoes swinging with that final bit where they really found those mistakes that Maryville was making, capitalized on them, and just genuinely stick into it. Because I said it, if they want to stick this to OT, they've got to elevate themselves to a similar caliber of them. And they able to do that for that final bit. They unfortunately were not able to close it out, though. And that's going to be Maryville taking the W. They were the better team today.
Well, that is going to wrap up our entire Rocket League broadcast here for NACE Star League. But before we do you have any final thoughts?
To the playoffs, baby.
Well, what else can I say beyond that? Thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by and watching these games. We have more Rocket League next week, but tomorrow we'll have some Overwatch action. We will leave you with the top 5 plays of the game presented to you by Mavix Gaming Chairs. Feel the difference, and we also want to give a quick thank you to all of our sponsors, including Truth, Extra Life, Dunkin' Donuts, Monster, and Odyssey Elixir. Once again, thank you so much for joining us all. We'll see you again tomorrow with some Overwatch, and join us next Monday for more Rocket League action. Until then, we'll see you later. Maryville's name definitely carries weight, but the question is, can their Rocket League players carry that weight on their shoulders as well as the stress of trying to maintain this 5-0 record and go into this?
Now looking for a teammate in the midfield here. Opts to go around them instead. Is there a follow-up? There is. And that's the kind of smart forward they can play ahead.
Wall again has Calix. Halo attempts to rotate to mid, but the ball is going to go into the back of the net. That's goal number 4 for Maryville.
I mean, just textbook flip reset play. I mean, once the flip reset's there, it's just you can get so much power on the ball in a second. It's so own goal. But we'll credit it. We'll credit it.
Well, that's making up for the blunder. That's the first goal for Florida Tech.
Right, just solid all around. Way to play Rocket League.
Does not play around Calix. Said it's going to be Calix to stealth. Calix off the back wall with the double touch. Threads.
Setup. You just can't get any cleaner than it. You simply cannot. The control of possession gets beat out by Knight, though. Beast now has to put it in reverse. That's the one to intercept. Knight gets into the demo. And a pitch off the sidewall, or near the sidewall, off the top of...
No way.
I don't know whose car that was.
Is that my first ever on broadcast cut surfing?